Why? Why am I going into this career? What's in it for me? Why should I even consider a career? Is it just because every other person is doing it or what? Do I really know why? And then you want to ask yourself, if now I'm going into this career, where should I start? How should I start? What should I do? What should I be looking out for? Am I ready to go all the way? Am I ready to put in all the effort, and the time to build a career in this thing? Because it requires a lot of effort, it requires a lot of time. And it's not something that you start today and expect to be an expert immediately. It's, you build your skill over time. And you want to ask yourself, am I prepared to invest time and effort learning new skills, new tools, especially in a career that is so dynamic and things are always changing? I'll be showing us, while I was researching, I came up with 5 reasons why most people would want to consider a career in data analytics. And I think that will apply to some of the people that we have here on this call today. 5 reasons, and we'll go over them quickly. The first reason is, one, we know that there is a growing demand for data professionals. It's growing every day. In fact, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, it says that the demand for data professionals is growing at an estimated rate of 22% every year. And this will continue to grow through 2030, and then it will even grow faster over time. So there is a demand for it. There's a growing demand for it. That's one reason why it's a good choice to make. It's a good career to pursue. Another reason is data and analytics play a very important role in every industry. There is no industry that does not require a data professional in one capacity or the other. There's a broad scope of application. You can apply data analytics across all industries, health sector, government, the financial sector, every industry, because data is generated by every industry, everything that we do, consumer, retail banking, retail industry, consumer products, everything, everything we do. When we walk, when we run, we talk, everything, we're generating data. So this is a very important part in the business across board. Another key reason, the third one I want to talk about, is the competitive salaries and the benefits, which I know is important to everybody. In fact, for most people, the first thing they want to look at is the pay. How much am I going to get from it? That's the first level you want to look at, the pay. But then, as you begin to advance in your career, it's now more than the pay. It's not just the pay again. You want more out of your career. You want more out of what you're doing. So competitive salaries across board is one very good reason. On the average, you can get as much as you're starting, you can start from as much as 60, 70 and grow to the 130, 200,000 per annum, And there's a lot of compensation as well. Apart from your base salary, there's other compensation, bonuses. A lot of the time, data professionals get what we call the sign-up bonus. You're signing on to a new role. You've not even started, and they're already paying you 10K as sign-up bonus. Those things are very attractive, and it's one good reason why it's a lucrative and a good career. Now we move on. The next 2 reasons that I'm going to talk about are beyond money. Is when you start looking beyond the pay, beyond the money, you start looking at something bigger. There's what we call job satisfaction. There's a lot of satisfaction that comes from being a data professional. Why? Because you can see how what you are doing is impacting the business directly. You can see how the dashboards you are building, the insights that you are providing is impact. You can see the direct impact it's having on the business, because the executives, the team leads, the business teams, they are using the insights that you're providing to make decisions. Sometimes these decisions are so critical that they can affect lives. The decisions you make, decisions that the insights you are providing, that businesses are using those insights to make, will affect lives. It will affect families. It has an impact on the economy, on the growth, the revenue of that company. So there's a high job satisfaction that you get from it, that knowing that, oh, what I'm contributing, I can feel the impact. I'm not just somewhere working and say, oh, they are generalizing everybody's contribution and say, oh, okay, we are all, the one I'm doing, the one I'm contributing, I'm seeing it. Your performance report, if you are doing performance metrics, you are seeing how the business is using your metrics to make decisions on how the next strategy, what should be done, what kind of products should we sell, what kind of customers should we engage, who are our high value customers, who are the disgruntled customers, who are the customers that are not happy, how are we dealing with customers' complaints, you know, what's the next best action, what should we be doing, what your insights, your contribution to the business is seen almost immediately. And then you have an opportunity to engage in several projects. So in data and analytics across the different roles, there's hardly a dull moment, because there's one thing to do and another thing to do. There's always something new. There's always a problem that you want to solve. There are problems you are solving, you know. This makes it very interesting and exciting for data professionals. And then one other thing again is that you can take ownership of your career. You can take ownership of the project. You can lead the project. There is room for you to lead at every stage. Even if you're just starting out as an analyst, at some point, it's very easy for you to become a team lead, because when you're making that impact, when you're adding value to the organization, before you know it, you are interacting with teams across board. You're interfacing with different stakeholders, those in IT, those in business. You know, yeah, at some point, you're interfacing with the executives, with the leaders of the organization. So there is room, there's opportunity for you to lead. It gives that job satisfaction that what I'm doing is making an impact. The last one, which is very important, is the career advancement opportunities that it provides. As a data professional, you can see your career journey right from the beginning. You can see your career trajectory. There's a clear-cut path for your career advancement. So you can start today and you'll see where you want to be in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, in 10 years from now, and you begin to work towards it. It's not vague. It's very clear. And it all depends on you. It's in your hands. It's what you want to do with it that you can do with it. If at some point you want to specialize, there's room for specialization. You can specialize and say, oh, okay, I'm starting as a data analyst. I'm a generalist right now. I'm a generalist. But at some point, I want to specialize. I want to specialize in the health sector. I want to be looking at health data. I want to help the health sector to make decisions. I want to specialize in governments. I want to specialize in the financial sector. You know, there is room for specialization. You can specialize across industries. You can specialize across in a particular role. To say, yes, I'm a data professional, but I want to just focus on data engineering, for instance. I want to be the best data engineer ever. I don't want to be everywhere. I just want to focus on this. This is my area of specialization. I want to specialize here. Or I want to be in data governance. I don't want any coding. I don't want to stress myself with coding. I want to focus on data governance, and you carve a niche for yourself in that area. Or data quality management, you know? So there's room for everybody. If you are somebody, you don't like a lot of coding, there are some roles you can take up and you can grow in that area. So there's room for career advancement, but there's always a point where you start off. The next thing we'll be looking at now is your career trajectory, charting your path as a data professional. So for a lot of our members who are just starting out or who are career switchers, you are moving from one career to another. Yes, you have previous experience in other careers. You're coming from the banking sector, from somewhere else, and you just moved into the data space. So in terms of your data experience, maybe you have just between 0 to 3 years experience. That's like the entry level. This is where you start from, entry level. And then What you require here, most of the time, most of these job roles are like data analysts, marketing data, and all that. Typically, your salary can be between 69 to 105. But you know that I'm starting now between 0 and 3 years. In the next 5, 7 years' time, you are moving to the mid-level. What do you need? What should you start doing before that time? What do you need to do? What do you need to do to be able to achieve that next level? You know, you can plan that ahead of time. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can go ahead and do that. You can plan that ahead of time and begin to plan your career path, your career trajectory, how you want to grow over the years, from 0 to 3 years, 3 to 7, 7 to 8 to 12, and then above 12 years. That is, so it's very easy for you to plan and to advance in your career as a data professional. Now, the question you want to ask at this point is, I'm just starting out, for instance, for those who are just starting out, how do I break into this data field? How do I break into the space? Where do I start from? And I'll just give a few steps here. In the beginning, you want to begin to build your foundational knowledge, first of all. You want to understand what is data analysis all about? What is data management all about? You know, what are the skills required to be able to thrive in this space? I would recommend some sites. I don't know if you've ever heard of DAMA, you know, data management. It's a website where you learn a lot about data management. You learn about data governance, data quality. You learn all around the disciplines of data management. You want to begin to get some of those foundational knowledge of data, of what data analytics is about. And at this point, you want to begin to think about certifications. What kind of certification should I be doing? Because that validates your knowledge, it validates your experience. And then the next step, which is very important for a data professional, is you want to begin to develop technical skills. Technical skills. You know, there is that temptation to be everywhere at the same time. Why? Because there's so much to learn. You want to learn SQL, you want to learn Python, you want to learn R, you want to learn Power BI, you want to learn Tableau. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. But my advice for you is you start from one point. Every data professional, you know that at some point you will encounter Excel. Our good old Microsoft Excel is very important. You want to learn such skills. You want to know how to use Excel, how to manipulate data in Excel. The next thing you want to learn about SQL. How do I use SQL? Even if it's basic, you know, knowledge of how to use SQL. And then you can pick one of the visualization tools, Power BI or Tableau, whichever one you're comfortable with. You begin to build your technical skills gradually. Don't get to the point where you get confused and you get overwhelmed because you want to do everything at the same time. You cannot do everything. Be focused. Do one at a time. Get it done as much as you can. Get certifications. That will help validate your technical skills. The next step is you want to begin to gain, yes, Marita, thank you, Data Management Association, that's the DAMA. You can look it up online. They have so many resources. They have free resources. They have a lot of free sessions, you know, webinars every now and then talking about the different disciplines in data management. Then the third step is the practical experience that we're talking about. So a lot of people have been asking, okay, I don't have any data role. I've not done anything in terms of a data role, but I've been learning, I've been gaining technical skills, you know, but I don't have on my CV any experience. And that's where we always talk about building a project portfolio. A place like a site like Forage, we'll be talking about Forage for a long time. It gives you the opportunity to work on projects. You have real life scenarios. You can work on real life projects and you post that on your profile, on LinkedIn profile, put it on your CV. It's your project, it's what you worked on. That's one way to gain practical experience. Another very good way to gain practical experience is to volunteer. Volunteering work is very important. I know we say money, the pay is important to you, it's important to us, but look for opportunities to volunteer. And I will give this tip to those who are into church activities. If you are in a group in church, in a team in church, volunteer. Tell them, oh, do we have any data? Do you want me to help you manage your data? Do you want me to help you work on your data? Use those as an opportunity to gain experience, practical experience. Do you belong to a club? Do you belong to a team? Do you belong to a group anywhere? Look for opportunities to volunteer your skills. Don't wait until you get on that job, that's when you want to start building practical experience. No. Now, while you are looking for the job, looking for the next role, seek out opportunities where you can volunteer, offer your skills, use your skills to add value. To even if you're not paid for it, just keep adding that value. You'll see the pay, the reward will come. When you get on the real job, you'll be comfortable, you'll be confident to deliver. Another opportunity to gain practical experience is freelancing, where there are a lot of sites. There is Fiverr, there are other sites where you can register to be a freelance data analyst. We'll have a session on that, how to become a freelance data analyst. That way, you are offering services and you are paid for it, because when you become a freelancer, you'll be paid. Companies and individuals come there to post projects, and then you apply for those projects, you're interviewed, you get the project, you work on it, and you deliver. You put all that on your CV, put that on your resume as your practical experience. Then another very good way is the cargo competitions. I've talked about cargo before. Go on cargo.com. Every now and then, there are train-up competitions. That's another way to have practical experience in the data space. The fourth step, when you are gaining practical experience, is to build your network. Begin to build your network. In this data space, you cannot have all the knowledge alone. Build your network. That way, you engage in challenging conversations. Begin to build your online presence. If before now you've not been active on LinkedIn, go on your LinkedIn page. Optimize it, work on it. Begin to post things, post articles around data, post things around data, attend conferences, attend webinars. Thank God for our own a community like ours. Be active.
I need class towards the end.
Excuse me. 1 second, please. Victoria, okay, I'll just mute you now. Sorry about that. So we're talking about building your network. Build your network. Build your online presence. Our community, the PDA community that we have, is for everyone. It's for all of us. Ask questions there on that platform. Post your comments. Ask questions relating to data. Build network, have conversations, have collaborations. Oh, I'm working on this project. Is there anyone who has done it? Is there anyone who can work with me on it? You know, build network. Begin to identify people that you want to build that relationship with. You know, sometimes the job you're looking for is just one person away from you. It's just one conversation away from you. And I've had that experience before in the past. Just from a conversation, something can come up, a job can come up, and opportunities can come up. But that has to do with your network. Begin to build your network. Begin to engage with people on LinkedIn. And one very good way is all seminars, webinars. I've talked about Dharma. They always have webinars every now. Sometimes they have small group sessions, small group webinars. Be part of it and contribute. That way, you can also add value. The fifth step, which is very important, I cannot overemphasize the importance of soft skills. Sometimes we are so focused on those technical skills, we forget the soft skills. As a data professional, you need to begin to build and develop your soft skills, your communication skill, your ability to work as a team member or a team lead, critical thinking, problem solving, ability to look at a complex problem and break it down into bits on how you want to solve it. Soft skills. Just the way you go on trainings for the technical skills, it's important that you also have trainings on soft skills. How to make presentations, how to communicate with other stakeholders, stakeholder management. How do you manage other people? As a data professional, you are interfacing with so many people, with the IT, with the business. How do you manage them? How do you map your stakeholders? There's what we call stakeholder mapping. How do you map them to place them in different buckets and to understand how you should be interacting with them? How do you identify who is going to be your sponsor when you get on that role? Everyone needs a sponsor. It has to do with your soft skills. How do you begin to engage your sponsor, engage with mentors who will help you advance in your data career? So those are the 5 important steps. The 6th one is optional, but I know a lot of us already have this. Consider formal education. I think all of us already have the 1st degree, BSc. A lot of us also have MSc as well, maybe in a data-related discipline. Some people even go on to have PhD. So you want to consider a formal education this is not so critical, it's just optional. If you want to validate your skill, you want to grow, you want to get to leadership or executive role. Before you get to those roles, of course, you need to have your master. Sometimes you want a PhD, just to give you that validation and all that. So having said all this, we will move on to look at the various roles in data. We'll be looking at the roles. We'll look at the skill required to thrive in the roles. And then we'll look at the average salary range for each role. I have about 10 roles here on this slide, but I think I have more than this on another slide. I have up to 20. The first role, which is very common, and we all know about this. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing the next slide. Can you see this one on the roles? Can someone confirm to me, please, if you can see this one about the roles? Can anyone see the screen?
Yes, we can see the data analyst.
Yes, great, thank you. So we have the first role here is data analyst role. This is a common role, we all know about it. And as a data analyst, you collect data, you process data, analyze data. Almost every company, every organization has need for a data analyst. And please, when you're looking out for roles, opportunities you're looking for the job or a role to apply for, do not restrict yourself to the nomenclature. I was saying it here in the last session. Most of these things, different organizations call different roles, different things. Sometimes they'll say data analysts, but when you look at the job description, you'll be doing the work of a data engineer, even as a data analyst. It depends on the size of the organization. So don't be so fixed on the name, the nomenclature. Look out for the responsibilities and the job requirement, what you will be doing, and also the criteria that is required, the qualification. Is that something that you qualify for? Can you do it? Some of the skills required as a data analyst, you need to be proficient in SQL, good old Excel is very important. Power BI, you need critical thinking. And on the average, you'll be earning close to between 50 to 90,000 per annum. That's as a data analyst, you're just starting out as probably a junior data analyst or first level data analyst. The next role is data scientist. This too is also another common role where you'll be doing a lot of data modeling, machine learning, data mining. And what skill do you require here? You need, of course, your Python, R, you need knowledge of machine learning. You need to know about statistical analysis. You need to know how to manipulate data. You need to have deep problem-solving skills, ability to look into a problem and be able to break it down. Look at the complex problem and be able to break it down to how you're going to deal with it and how you're going to resolve it and come up with a solution. So problem solving, critical reasoning, attention to details, those are some of the soft skills here. Between 80 to 130,000, begin to look at all these and let it inspire you on how much you will earn. The career prospect for this role is very strong. There's a high demand for skilled data analysts across various industries. So for this role, it can never be too full. There is always need for data analysts and data scientists as well. The next one is a data engineer. Again, for a data engineer, you'll be building pipelines, looking at ETL, understand how to build your pipeline, understand your data warehousing very well. You need to be proficient as well in all the skills that we have here. You have your ETL tools. The salary is between 90 to 140. Again, for this role, there's an increasing demand for professionals. Some organizations have different roles, have all these distinct roles for a data engineer. If you're a data analyst, you only do what a data analyst is expected to do. They have data analysts, they have data engineers, they have data scientists. A lot of organizations are beginning to streamline these roles in line with the responsibilities and the skills for each of these roles. While some organizations will have everything for one person to do, a lot of organizations are beginning to break it down and streamline these responsibilities to each role. So at this point, you want to begin to ask yourself and start thinking about which of these roles you want to pursue. Of course, you can't be everything for a start. Which one do you want to pursue? What kind of skill sets do you want to begin to focus on? You have the business intelligence analysts. Here, they will call them the BI analysts. Here, you are responsible for analyzing your business data. You get the business requirements, create dashboards and reports, and then you identify trends, patterns, you report metrics, KPIs, and provide insights for decision-making. You are looking at historical data and helping the organization to make decisions based on historical data. You need to be proficient in your BI tools here. SQL is very important. You have your data visualization skills here as well. Again, the salary range between 60 to 180. And you have the machine learning engineer here. I know we talked about this when we were talking about the AI role. It also came up again as a role in the data space, but it's more of an AI role. Then you have the database administrator. As a database administrator, you need to understand your database systems, the database management systems. You need to understand security management. You need to be able to tune the performance of database. You need to understand how to back up, how to do your recovery. What are the skills required here? Understanding of the different databases that you have, MySQL, Oracle SQL, and all of them, proficiency. You don't need to know everything at once, one at a time. MySQL, PLSQL, Oracle SQL. You'll also be able to, all of these data roles require problem-solving skills. So I will stop talking about that. We've talked about that too many times. Problem-solving skills is very important. Your salary here is between 70 to 120. The career prospects for a DBA database administrator is very stable because a lot of organizations need a DBA, database administrator, to manage their databases. Then for most DBAs that I have come across, at some point, they want to begin to transition into other data roles. So there's opportunity for you. If you're starting out as a DBA, you can transition into a data engineering role or a data architect role. You know, there's that opportunity. The good thing about these roles is that you can move from one role, you can transition into another role, especially when you have more interest in the other role. There's the data architect. Just like you have your normal architect, data architect, you design and implement your overall, the structure and the framework for storing your data in the organization. Your responsibility includes data modeling, ensuring that you have your data security and data integrity, understanding your data standards and principles, and also the policies. You need to be proficient in database management systems, data modeling tools, understanding of your data governance and principles, and your communication skills is also very important here. Because as a data architect, you'll be interacting and interfacing with a lot of other stakeholders. Here, the career prospect for this particular role is very strong, and especially when a lot of organizations are beginning to move from on-prem to in cloud. They are beginning to move to cloud data warehouse and all that. This role it comes up every now and then as a requirement for most organizations, and it's really strong. If you want to build your career in that area, fantastic. Go ahead and do that. Salary range between 100 to 160, which is fantastic, and you know that you have a stable career. Now we're beginning to move to some other specialized roles. You know, we have what we call the quantitative analysts. Here you need to know a lot about financial modeling, risk assessments and all that, back testing. You want to be proficient in your programming language as well. But here, most importantly, if you want to pursue a career here, you need to have a good understanding of the financial markets, you know, and the financial products as well. The salary range is between 100 to 200, is competitive with opportunities in finance, investment banking, and hedge funds. Again, this is another specialized role as a statistician as well. I know most people will not want to go into this, but then you need to understand your statistics very well. And it's also a stable role, and the salary range is between 60 to 110. Data visualization specialist is almost like your BI role, but in this case, you are focused on data visualization, excuse me. You'll be building a lot of dashboards. And so because you are going to be doing that, you need to understand your UX very well, UX design, your user experience. You need to understand storytelling very well, how to make your presentation, to tell the story behind your data, make recommendations. So storytelling is a skill that you need to have as a data visualization specialist. Again, the salary is good. It is solid with opportunities to specialize in, you know, specific industries. Then that is all we have here. I have other roles as well that are specialized roles. I'll just mention a few of them, even if I'm not presenting them. There is the supply chain analyst. There's a fraud analyst. There is health data analyst, healthcare data analyst. So if you have any experience in healthcare, there is a role for you. There's health data analyst, there's social media analysts, there's web analyst, there's customer insight analyst. These are some specialized roles, and they all have very fantastic salary range, and they are all stable. And these are roles that are becoming more in demand. Industry organizations are demanding for some of these specialized roles. So if you're here and you want to specialize, that's fine. You can go ahead and do that. There's opportunity for that. If you also want to just remain a generalist for a while, that is also fine. You can remain a generalist and begin to start exploring different industries and different opportunities until you find that sweet spot where you want to carve a niche for yourself. So thank you, everyone.